Okay, my watch is incorrect. It's 7 o'clock. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
I should make note that council members Barbie and Robinson are absent. First item is approval of minutes. The regular meeting minutes of August 1st, 2024 will be provided for review. So I need a motion for the regular meeting minutes of August 1st, 2024 as presented.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Call the roll.
Mr. Clemens,
Yes.
Mr. Brungard,
Abstain.
Mr. Sedlicott,
Yes.
Mr. Gardner,
Abstain.
Mr. Kirby.
Yes.
Mr. Pawlowski.
Yes.
Motion passed. Audience participation. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the council on an item that is not on the agenda?
Oh. Yes. I just have two things, and they're basically thank yous. The number one is code enforcement. I see massive improvements in my neighborhood. A lot of people have cleaned up their neighborhood and cleaned up their cars and gotten rid of that, and people are using the streets less as their private parking and using the driveway more. The second thing is I would like to have a very, very big thank you for your 4th of July ceremony. That was a wonderful ceremony. It went very smoothly. I think the high school is a very good place to have it. Are you up for some suggestions?
Sure. Sure.
For your spend a little bit more on the parking passes. Have a color for lots A, B, and C. Also, when you're getting close, when it's getting close to all the areas being filled up, also any remaining handicap or the VIP parking, open that up to the regular so you can get more people in. You did many things right. For instance, during the fireworks display, you turned off the lights, which made it very nice. You could see the fireworks much better. And driving out of the high school parking lot was very, very efficient. I want to thank you there. There is one thing that you can improve on, and that is at 4-H Road and DeSoto, the traffic started backing up. You had policemen there, but they weren't doing very much and everything, and that's about all. If you take those for what they're worth, and
Yeah.
thank you for letting me speak.
Sure. All right, presentations, Lions Club proclamation. Who's going to take the proclamation from me up here? I'm going to first say a few words about the Lions Club. Established on August 17th, 1954, which by my calculations is about 5 years before the city was incorporated. So you're older than the city, which is pretty impressive. I'm now celebrating 70 years, serving Lansing and the surrounding communities. The club is comprised of volunteers who dedicate their time in community service through local efforts. I don't have to tell everybody in this room, this is more for the audience, all the stuff you do for the community. But you assist with the mayor's Christmas tree program. I know that one personally. Every year by coordinating with the Boy Scouts of Food Drive with Troop 165 and Cub Scout Pack 3165, as well as sorting and preparing items for distribution to families. Coordinate the Easter egg hunt for the community. Been doing that for the last 25 years, which we really thank you for. sponsor scholarships for high school students. I know I'm gonna miss a whole bunch of stuff. I already mentioned the blood drive, but I just did. Taking drug back program. I know I see you cleaning the roads up. I'm sure there's like 40 other things you do that I'm not mentioning in here, but Lansing Library Club continues to celebrate among new and longstanding members. A very proud legacy and commitment to helping others. So we, the mayor and the city council and the city of Lansing, state of Kansas, do hereby recognize and thank the Lions Club for their support and willing hearts and hands to help make our community a great place to live. So let us support them as they celebrate their 70th anniversary. Sir, please accept this proclamation on behalf of the city.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Oh, you want to get a picture?
Yeah.
I'm going to hand it to you this way.
We'll do, tell you what, let's do that.
All right.
How's that?
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Free to say a few words if you like, or.
That's fine. I'll keep it short. I'm Chris Southard. I'm the president this year and of the Lansing Lions Club. We've been around a while. We have about 32 hardworking members that I really appreciate. And the community, I believe, should. I'm glad to see you guys are supporting us with this recognition. As he said, we do a lot of things for the community besides raising funds for scholarships and things of that nature. We also partner with other organizations, as you said, the Scouts. We do also partner with the Rotary and other organizations, not necessarily from ours either, Leavenworth and other organizations, to make the community a little bit better, make things work a little bit smoother, provide the manpower grease, is needed, and keep it up looking good. To that end, one thing I'm going to do here, and that is extend an invitation to any or all of you who might like to join the Lions Club. And always use more members. I know everybody here is a great person, wants to do well for their community. And I'd like to have you in the organization if you can. If you want to, see me and I will see that it happens.
Oh, Chris, you might tell them that we have one member that will pay for their membership for a year free.
Oh, is that so, Jeff? All right.
I thought you didn't.
Yes, we did have somebody.
Yeah, didn't Rick
That's
do
blessed to
that?
be done.
Rick
Yeah.
Dodson did that.
We do. So anyway, like I say, if anybody wants to see me afterwards, we'll make it happen. Thank you very much for this honor.
Okay, executive session. How are we doing the executive session? Executive session for economic development. I need a motion to go into executive session for preliminary discussions of economic development activities, KSA 754319 Bravo 4 for 20 minutes, beginning at 7:09 and ending at 7:20.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second, call the roll.
Mr. Clemens?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Seneca?
Yes.
Mr. Gardner?
Yes.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Kowalski?
Yes. Yes.
Make my motion.
Move to return open session. Second.
Got a motion and a second to return to open session. Call the roll.
Mr. Clemens?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Seneca?
Yes.
Mr. Gardner?
Yes.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes. One thing at a time.
Mr. Kowalski?
Yes.
Right, we have returned to open session. There were no binding actions taken. Item number 4 is executive session. Yes. For non-elected personnel matters. I need a motion to go into executive session for the discussion of personnel matters of non-elected personnel pursuant to the non-elected personnel matter exception. KSA 754319 Bravo 1 for 20 minutes, beginning at 7:30. What is the time up there?
7:30.
7:30 to 7. No, 7:50.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All of
Mr. Fleming.
Yes.
Mr. Baumgart.
Yes.
Mr. Benega.
Yes.
Mr. Gardner.
Yeah.
Howard.
yes.
Mr. Caldwell.
Yes.
It's always easier.
Thanks, Tony.
Could I just vote remotely?
Yeah, how about you just leave the chair and scooch?
You can roll your hand. It's okay. Yeah, because you'd be like a step.
Make a motion that we return to open session.
Second. A motion and a second to return to open session. Call the roll.
Mr. Fleming.
Yes.
Mr. Baumgart.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Benega.
Yes.
Mr. Gardner.
Yes.
Mr. Kirby.
Yes.
Caldwell.
Yes.
Passed, we've returned to open session. No binding action was taken during that executive session. And reports. City attorney.
Another report.
City administrator, Tim.
I mentioned briefly the volunteer dinner at the last city council meeting. I just don't think the community center will be completed by October 1st. And I'm not sure we'd be able to find a venue that could house or host 100 people. So we've been kicking around different ideas. For those of you who were here during COVID, you might remember the COVID year, we didn't have a formal dinner. But we gave all of our volunteers gift cards and gift. I think the department head was responsible for that. Group of volunteers took them out to dinner. So that's one of the ideas we're kicking around. I'm not sure if you guys have any ideas or thoughts or anything like that. We would still certainly have a volunteer of the year. We could bring that person to the council meeting and recognize them. But we're just not sure everything.
There's no reasons we couldn't do like the community center and all that.
You could reach out to them. Yes.
We're here to soon.
Yeah, there's no reason it has to be done by October. I mean, it just got stretched into November. Is that? Is there a reason we can't do that?
I could double check with staff. Maybe we can put it back. I know it's always in the past, like we've run into, I think, weekdays in the fall or miscellaneous activities. But we could try to find a day that works for. We could try to. We could reach out to those two places and all work back. Speaking of city hall repairs, Beth and I have been kicking around different ideas on a fund that we would take that out of. One of the ideas that was thrown around was the equipment replacement fund. The other idea that we were looking at is putting it to our ARPA funds. So you guys might recall, we either have to have all of our ARPA funds spent by the end of the year this year, or at the very least allocated. So like we need them earmarked if they're not going to be spent. We have about $500,000 left in ARPA funds. We were considering putting some of the road repairs that we've recently done to the ARPA funds, just so it's kind of unencumbered and we don't have to do federal government anymore. But we could eventually code city hall repairs to the ARPA fund. We don't have bids right now. I feel pretty safe in telling you guys it will be over 100 and under $200,000. But I don't have an exact price for that. So
We don't know yet where we're at for replacement equipment.
So we started talking to department heads about that. Because we didn't want to code it to equipment replacement and then find out we needed all of these different things. I know there's a truck that's acting up, but I think they're going to request to be replaced. That's kind of the biggest thing.
Pickup truck or
Yeah,
pumper truck?
a dump truck, the Parks and Rec department.
Oh, I'll talk about part.
Yeah.
We gotta be careful, we don't spend funds 2 to 3 times. Because we're talking about absorbing the fire department and highways going to be taking equipment.
Yeah.
Because we have to do equipment and buyout. What you're talking about is getting it encumbered is great and bad.
Yeah.
But we've got to make sure that we accommodate absorbing the fire department. Because we're not going to get the new mills until February, and they say we're not going to get any funds from settling the fire department money until mid-March.
Yeah.
So that really audit all that.
That's a great point.
You know, there's so much ARPA and, you know, we've got the fire issue, which we don't really, we know it's coming out, but we don't know, we gotta buy a pumper, we're gonna have, what are we gonna have to buy?
We're meeting on September 10th to go over the equipment and appraisals and everything like that. So after September 10th, we will have a little bit of a better idea, but Mr. Clemens is right. There are going to be some things that we will have to purchase. Kind of getting back to the thing I mentioned a moment ago that we want to mention again. If we are able, we were already transferring money to the CIP fund for all of those road improvements. So if we're able to load that to the ARPA fund, that money is kind of there. It's freed up. Yeah. So we'd be able to spend that in February, March, whatever. So we would just have to code it. But we'll all follow up with you guys. We're looking at doing a special meeting on the 29th. We go over bids for City Hall repairs. And then maybe at that point, we can talk more about how we code it. So yeah, there's a couple of different options. Any other questions? Another thing, we were really fortunate. We were able to hire 2 new police officers in the last few weeks. We're excited about that. But it seemed like right as we had hired 2 new police officers, we had one of our senior officers step down, go to an agency to the south of us. So I know Chief has been kicking around a lot of different ideas, and I've been kicking around a lot of different ideas too. We were talking about potentially increasing the sign-on bonus for police officers. Right now, that's $1,500. So we're talking about increasing that. We're curious if you guys are open to potentially $3,000, maybe for someone that is uncertified, maybe a little bit more for someone who's certified.
Well, I mean, the retention bonus to the fire district is $3,000.
Yes,
Correct.
yes.
Well, police department on that stuff.
Is it tied to longevity? Or like, do they have to be here a certain amount of time to
Yeah.
see that?
I think we've done it in like 2 different.
Okay. It's tied to being here for 2 years. So if they should be within that.
Like a service agreement for 2 years. Okay. They need to be treated the same. That's all. Okay.
Me too.
Thank you guys. And then last thing, I think a lot of you guys have been hearing about the Historical Society giving tours of the prison coming up and things like that. They did request coming to an upcoming city council meeting to talk about that money from 5 years ago from the Regional Prisons Museum. So I think they were requesting to potentially come to the 29th work session to talk to you guys about all of that. So
That was the intent, was a museum.
correct. And the thing that's challenging, I think when we did this 5 years ago, the idea of turning the prison into a ghost tour place or a tourist mecca, that wasn't an idea, that wasn't a blip on the radar. So we followed the Regional Prisons Museum bylaws to a T And we use that for quality of life stuff. But again, they are using it now. I think this kind of meets the spirit and intent of what that money was raised for 20 years ago. So I think they do want to come to the upcoming work session to talk to you guys about that, to see if we're open to it. It would be $143,000. And again, that was money that went into Bernard Park. So we would need to find a place where we would owe that. What fund does that $143,000 come out of? Also, are we able to split that up? So those are some things.
Yes, I would be just like, think of ways to that. You know, I mean, before that meeting, when we have them here, if there's ways to do it. And their claim is that they're going to bring a lot of tourism here, people might stay overnight. We have a fund goes into that category, right? So if they bring more people and stay in our hotels more, the guest use tax goes up. So we touch on that. And just think of some options, I guess what I'm saying. So we don't go.
But when we turn everything over to the historic society, the buildings and artifacts, and everything that we bring to the town, we turn over about funds and that. Where's this $150,000?
That's what, how I remember.
Two different funds.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so there was Mayor Bernard was part of creating a 501c3 when they wanted to have that special museum just for prisons. And so they generated money through donations, but the city also donated a lot of money to this too. Through Lansing Days, like all of the revenue from Lansing Days 15 years ago went into that fund. I think they used to do 5Ks. But that was a separate 501c3. And then 5 or 6 years ago, people were kind of dying off and they realized you can't build a brand new building with $140,000. So that's when that 501c3 disbanded. Then the bylaws for that 501c3 said goes defunct, the money goes to the city. So
why now are we giving it back?
We're not giving it back.
Yeah, I'm saying they're going to be asking us for it.
Asking.
Yes. I mean, by law.
We've been through this before. We had this landlord up there for heads and threatening us. So that did.
Wasn't really settled. I mean, I think what happened was I took their box of invoices and went through them. We did some analysis on how much we thought they actually did contribute to the prison. And we said, hey, we offer you 16K, I think it was, that we know for sure you put in that bank. And then we never heard anything. So no, we haven't.
I got you. We got what's more than one yet, we're asking.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years, I guess.
I mean, yeah,
It's the same people are going to come back and talk to us.
I was under the impression it will be different members of the historic.
Yeah, I think
Maybe kind of gentler.
well, I don't know.
I'm under the impression it will be different people from the historic society.
I think Mr. Tom Young is president of that group.
I think he might be one of the people.
And he's been working very closely with legislators in prison and all that kind of stuff. To do that.
That would be awesome.
It's my understanding, I think he'll be one of them.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And then the last thing, we talked about that community survey. I think people will start getting postcards for that. So be sure to encourage constituents to do that. I think there's like a QR code on that so people can take the survey. And that's all I have. Oh, I just wanted to say really quick too, thank you guys so much. It's really thoughtful of you guys. You guys were really understanding when I took time off, so I really appreciate it. Make Lansing a good place to work, so I appreciate it. So thank you guys.
Well, let's know where you're gonna wear the t-shirt to work so we can come and see you.
Will do.
All right, thanks. We'll go around the horn. Dan, you're up first. Looks like.
Well, we already talked about ARPA money and the fire department. If they got 13 positions, they currently got 9, and they're projected losing 2 during the transitions. They're going to be about 50%. The incoming chief talked about doing volunteers, getting part-timers back, but if they don't come with credentials, we're on the hook training. And if they don't have equipment on hand to fill them, we're on the hook to supply the equipment. So then one of the things that we talked about, or the fire board talked about, and you may want to consider is doing a personnel pay study, because they think the reason why we're not getting people to volunteer or submit resignations is salaries are too low. So just keep that in mind that we may need to address that.
This is the opposite of what I've heard about salaries.
I mean, I think it's so, yeah, I was under the impression they just did it. That's all right.
I didn't hear you, Tony.
I said I was under the impression they just completed a case study.
That's what I thought.
I'm gonna find out.
Yeah, we can.
All right.
We can double.
What else we got, Dan?
And they did not have LCPA this last week because the Leavenworth Board of County Commissioners is going through a budget drill, and the LCDC is having to justify all of the money and stuff. So next Wednesday, they find out what they get from the county. And from what I hear, it's really emotional level. That's going back.
Going that deep, whether or not going revenue neutral. Yeah, I can see that. All right.
So the LCPA doesn't do that.
Now I'm talking about the county.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're making deep cut. That's all I've got there.
All right. Jerry?
I have nothing.
Don.
I don't have anything to do.
All right. Kevin, what do you
I
got?
have nothing to do. Thanks for getting to.
I'm good. Thank you.
You are okay.
Tim, I've been up and down 147 since I did all that asphalt work. It's pretty nice. Just those guys are doing a good job. So, that's all I have, and I guess I'm the one's gonna make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Yeah.
Got a motion and a second to adjourn. All the roll.
Mr. Clemens,
Yes.
Mr. Brungard,
Yes.
Mr. Seneca,
Yes.
Mr. Gardner,
Yes.
Mr. Kirby,
Thinking about it, yes.
Mr. Comboy.
Yeah.
I told her to say no.
We are adjourned.